A warm welcome and thank you so much for watching Uctv. My name is Nora Sende. In studio today I have a group of very enthusiastic and very youthful people. It's a team that is actually ready to serve Christ. Actually, they're serving God. And the beauty about it is that they're all about action, they're all about enthusiasm. And this is the young Christian students, I can't wait to dig more into these details. They're actually one of a kind, and I can't wait to actually share more experiences and more details on this very show. Before we go into the details, we're going to get into the introductions, and everyone is going to introduce themselves. We're going to start off with the gentleman on my very extreme right. You're very welcome. Kindly introduce yourself.
Thank you very much, moderator. Shalom, brothers and sisters. My name is Innocent Obua, the 36th National Team Leader. I'm from Lira Catholic Diocese. Thank you very much.
Shalom, dear viewers. My name is Ayo Stephen, the National Publicity Secretary for Uganda YCS. I'm a teacher at St. Mary's College, Lugazi, as well as I come from Lira Diocese. Thank you.
Hi dear, Christ is alive. My name is Zako Joyce and I'm the National Youth Coordinator at Uganda Episcopal Conference. And here together, as Nora has rightly said, we're a team of Uganda YCS. Thank you.
Shalom, brothers and sisters. My name is Oluwamundo Tony Blair from the Catholic Diocese, and I am a member of the national team. And I am also the General Secretary for Uganda National Catholic Youth Apostolate Council. Thank you so much.
Wow, very, very good leaders that we have here today, and I can't just wait to hear from the gentleman on my left side.
Shalom, viewers. I'm Rotomio Edmond. I'm a National Section Leader, Kampala University. I'm here for a discussion with YCS Uganda, coming from Navy Diocese. Thank you.
Yes, please, you can continue.
Thank you, Nora, dear moderator. Shalom, dear viewers. My name is Felix Tumuhimbise. I'm the section animator at St. Peter's SS in Zambia, and I was the representative for Uganda in the just concluded 17th International Young Catholic Students Movement Council in Amman, Jordan. Thank you.
Yes.
Shalom, brothers and sisters. My name is Chualabi Benjamin. I'm the Publicity Officer, St. Peter's SS in Zambia section, and I'm very pleased to be here today.
Shalom, brothers and sisters. My name is Kale Faith Catherine, the section leader, St. Peter's SS Zambia, the only school in the heart of the city, of course.
Wow.
So I'm really happy to be part of you today, and I'm ready to learn from you. Yeah, thank you.
Well, that is quite an introduction. Every one of us here is a born leader, I must say. And well, I think you've just made it more interesting. The only school in the heart of the city, right? But we are so glad to have you here. And we are looking forward to much more interaction between all of us, so just getting to know and getting to understand exactly what Uganda Young Christian Students is all about. Talking about what Uganda Young Christian Students is all about, let's just get a brief background about what YCS is all about. You could actually start by telling us, Stephen, Mr.
Yes,
Ayo, you
please.
could actually start by telling us what this is all about.
YCS stands for the Young Christian Students, but internationally it's also called the Young Catholic Students because the origin is in the Catholic Church. YCS started way back in 1929, and our founder is the late Father Joseph Kadjin, and actually he did not just start YCS, but actually started the first movement called the Young Christian Workers. So for us, we are the Young Christian Workers in preparation under the Young Christian Students. Father Joseph Kadjin saw what was happening with this fellow youth when he was still just a seminarian. Most of his friends actually were working in the mines, but after some time, when he looked at the life the young people were living in the mines as slaves and all that, he thought of starting something that would help these young ones to think of a solution that they should come with in order for them to solve their own problems within the community. So in that nature, Father Joseph Kadjin started the Young Christian Workers, where students could sit down, look at the problems they have within the community, then afterward they think of a spiritual guided solution so that they can overcome the challenge. They can put an action towards making it better. So that is how the Young Christian Workers started. And after some time, he thought of starting something for the initial process. That is now where the young Christian students come from. So Father Joseph Kadjin is the founder of the Young Christian Students. In Uganda, YCS came in 1956 on the 3rd of September, and the first section that we had was St. Mary's College, Kisubi. That is where YCS started in Uganda. YCS has a major aim, that is to make the students' world a better and a happier place to live in, both spiritually and materially. So YCS doesn't just focus on the spiritual aspect, but also on the materialistic aspect, in order so that these students can learn life skills to enrich themselves with what they can use to be self-reliant. So that is majorly what YCS is. Thank you.
Well, that's a very in-depth background of what YCS is, and I can see you've highlighted that it's not just on the spiritual aspect, but it also has to do with the mental. It encompasses all the sectors of life. And I just want to go to Joyce here, who is the general coordinator of the young people. Try to make us understand why it is important for the young people to actually appreciate YCS and to join it as young people.
Thank you so much. First of all, as a coordination office at the Uganda Episcopal Conference, we do not only collaborate with a movement called YCS, there are other national movements, which he has mentioned one of them. And more importantly, with Uganda YCS, it's a life of journeying together with the young people in a school setting, in a school environment. And we would like to see in every young person in a school who is Catholic to embrace this movement and fully be part of it, because every movement has its own charism. And you've heard our General Secretary mentioning something about that, and it's very important. So we do the coordination through the dioceses and national sections as well. And as for us here, based at the Catholic Secretariat, which is the mother office coordinating these movements, YCS itself is one of the biggest movements in the country. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. You've talked about the coordination. I'm going to stay with you just a little bit there. Just tell us a little bit more about how you coordinate all the students in the country, really, especially the young people in this brigade.
Thank you so much. Within the Bishops' Conference or the Catholic Secretariat, we have a lot of what we call synergy. And now, specifically with the Youth Office, we have synergy with the Education Department, because we actually realize that the majority of our young people whom we animate, whom we accompany in their journey of faith are actually students, and they are in schools. So we do a lot of coordination together with the Education Department based here at the Catholic Secretariat. And this coordination, we do it through, first of all, our diocesan youth offices. And our diocesan youth offices also have a collaboration with the different education offices within their own dioceses. And we have this structure right from the national level. We have also spread it to the provincial level, where we have Ganal for Gulu Ecclesiastical Province, we have Kaya for Kampala Ecclesiastical Province, we have Mepia for Mbarara Ecclesiastical Province, and we call them the Orientals. You can guess where they're coming from. It is Tororo Ecclesiastical Province. And each of these provinces, like for Tororo Ecclesiastical Province, there are 5 dioceses. And we have Kotido, Moroto, Soroti Catholic Diocese, Jinja, and Tororo Archdiocese. Meanwhile, here in Kampala, there are also 5 dioceses. We have Kampala Archdiocese, we have Kasana Luero Diocese, we have Kiinda Mitiana Diocese, we have Lugazi Diocese, and we have Masaka Diocese. For Mbarara Ecclesiastical Province, we have Mbarara Archdiocese, Kavale, Kasese, Fort Portal, and Hoima. And then for Ganal, we have Gulu Archdiocese, Arua Diocese, Nebi Catholic Diocese, and Lira, where our national team comes from. Now, this coordination is done through these diocesan offices, and we have youth movements and associations. One thing I want to make clear here is there are some young people who do not want to belong either to any movement or association. So they are also, we call them general. They are general young people who are coordinated through the parishes and through the small Christian communities. Thank you.
Well, you have a handful there, and I must say that the work that you're doing is very, very important. It's something, right now when you look at the Uganda population, actually 75% is youth. And who better off to take on this mantle of evangelization and life and faith and action other than the young people? It is something that we all should be, looking forward to involving ourselves to. The young Christian students is actually what we are discussing. This is a team that is of leaders from the young Christian students, and it is a remarkable team. Each and every member here has a very pivotal role that they play. And I must say that their energies is actually up. Not so, Felix. Felix, not so?
That's it.
Yes. Yes, and I can't wait to get to you, Felix, because there's a very prestigious award right in front of us, and you'll dig more into tell us about the World Council and what is it all about before we even get into any detail.
The World Council is the highest decision-making body for the International Young Catholic Students Movement, and this council takes place every 4 years. So the one we just ended, we last had one in 2019, and that was in Abuja in Nigeria. The one of this year took place in Amani, that's the capital city of Jordan in the Middle East. This council, the 17th International Young Catholic Students Movement, was brought together countries or national teams from different countries. Currently, YCS is in 87 countries from Asia, from Africa, from the Middle East and Latin America. So this one we just ended was attended by 33 countries with a total of 91 delegates. Yes.
Nice. So what exactly is the goal when young people come together from all these different countries?
So the goal of the council, as I said, is the highest decision-making body for the movement. The council is there to review the action plan that had been adopted in the previous council, and then also look at the reports of the IYCS IYCS office, what they have done in the 4 years, how much they have achieved. So we make a review. The IYCS leaders present to the council the reports for the 4 years, and then if there are any challenges to be addressed in that very council, we decisions are made, suggestions are made, recommendations are made for the next 4 years. So basically, the councils are there to review what had been discussed in the previous council and also to forge a way ahead for the next 4 years.
Wonderful.
Yes.
I'm going to request Blair, who is just seated right next to me in my immediate right, to just dig more into the processes of the council.
Oh, thank you so much. In the processes of the council, as Teacher Felix, Mr. Felix has said, the council is to review what has been discussed in the previous council. But for you to be presented in the council, it is not only that you are going to review what has been discussed in the previous council, but also to look at activities that that is being done in the different countries as young people. Like for the case of Uganda, of course, when we go as Ugandan to the council, we also go and present our activities, how we are progressing the life of the movement, in the lives of the students, and how are we promoting the faith in the Catholic Church in the lives of the students. Because now we look at different students and different livelihood they live in as far as it is concerned. Then now it is now the council. This council now brings together and discuss and forge ways. It leads into preparation of getting new people who are going to lead, the new leaders who are going to lead in the next council to come, like in the next leadership. Thank you.
That's nice. Felix, you said you represented.
Yes.
Tell us about your experience as a representative from Uganda, and then dig into this very nice, prestigious award that is seated right in front of us.
My personal experience, for one, this was my first participation in the IYCS international councils. It was a very rich experience for me. One, it gave me a broader perspective. I got a bigger picture of the IYCS movement. For example, when we arrived in Jordan, I must say we had VIP treatment because straight from the airport, we were picked as delegates. When you'd be coming out of the plane, moving through the halls of the airport, there would be someone holding your name like this, waiting for you. So that is usually for VIPs, so we are VIPs. That was really great. We had people to pick us from the airport to the center where we are going. It was a great thing.
Then also should experience that kind of
right.
Yeah, even when it came to the immigration, we did not hassle. There's someone who would take your passport and your other detail, goes to the desks, does all the clearing when you're just standing. So it was really great. The other big thing that, another event that made me realize actually the IYCS movement and also the World Council is such a big thing, is that in a country like Jordan, we had the opening ceremony was not done at a diocese or at a particular church or even at the center, but we went to the Ministry of Culture. We're in the boardroom, we're in the conference room of the Ministry of Culture there, and the Minister of Culture there was representing the monarch, the king of Jordan. We had different dignitaries there, cabinet ministers, different political actors in the country, religious leaders. The Pope Nuncio for the Middle East, who sits in Israel, in Jerusalem, was present. The bishops from all around were present. So it gave me a bigger perspective. I realized IYCS is that big. It is not just a small movement, it is big. And that kind of image is what I've carried back here, and I will treat YCS and its business as a global thing, not just a thing for Zambia, not a thing for Kampala, not a thing for Uganda, but a global thing. Definitely, from the 33 countries with the 91 delegates, we made different people. We made friends, we got contacts. There were people from Europe. From Europe, mainly, specifically, there was France, there was Germany, there was Spain, and Belgium. From the Middle East, we had, there was Jordan, the host, there was Palestine, there was Lebanon, and then from Africa, there was Uganda, we had Kenya, we had Burundi, we had Togo, we had Ivory Coast, South Africa, and Malawi. From Asia, there was China, there was Sri Lanka, there was Indonesia, and India. So, such meeting people from all over the world, from the interactions, there's something you learn from them. And also, the age groups and also the composition of the participation was diverse. We had the young students who are mainly university students, and then we had animators from universities, from schools and other tertiary institutions. And then also we had the alumni. For example, from Uganda, I wasn't the only one, but I went as representative because I'm active. I'm currently active in the YCS business and the YCS movement, but we had 2 other people who went as part of the alumni team. That is Mr. and Mrs. Moses Engadu, who are still also serving the YCS at representing in the UNICEF. Yes, that's what they're doing. And other countries also had these alumni who are in different fields. So we had a lot of experience to share with all these different people.
I see there is a lot of sharing, and it's you know, a cocktail of VIP treatment and then networking and then, you know, all this experience. And I feel like from your perspective, you say that when you came back, it kind of just broadened your mind about the young Christian students, and that's on an international basis. And so it is a whole different experience for you that you got there.
Yes.
Let me just turn a little bit the pages and come back here locally, because the gentleman seated next to me here on my left, you are in charge of chaplaincy at one of the universities. Tell me, how does that intertwine, or how do you experience that at the university level? How is the experience of having young Christian students at the university level, and their experience? Are they motivated? Are they moved? What is it?
Yeah, thank you, moderator. Here at the university, YCS starting secondary. When you pass secondary level, you join the university, you get to YCS. But most students, they believe that the YCS is a secondary things, but with a lot of sensitization.
They tend to feel like, oh, that's for the younger ones, right?
Yeah, they say, hey, those are things for secondary,
High school.
for high school level. But now, the YCS is in university level. We are developing issues where you find we have to introduce students in YCS, the university student, by like introducing prayer worships. We tell them about faith, that faith is something important. We need to develop in faith, because most students, they believe in science. They say science is the most important thing than faith, because they say God doesn't exist. That's why you see most of our students, they are relaxed. They are relaxed. They are being, let me say, they are being, I can say like they have been given an opportunity by a false prophet by preaching another gospel of life. Where in YCS we advise them and we tell them that we have to believe and have faith, and we have to dwell in associations within the Catholic Church, so that you know that your faith grow bigger and stronger. And in the university, the YCS is mostly important, because also we do something that makes community loves the university.
Yes.
We do like charity work. We go to the community around, not only the community but within the university, because not all the students they are well off. Some also needs our help, like prayer for you, pray for them, you advise them how to grow in faith, how to know where their faith exists. And most importantly, we move to disability people who need. We collect resources. We collect resources within the as students. You know, as students also, we fundraise something small, and we take to needs, especially in Kampala University. We do that. We collect some resources from our administrations, from our students. We go for charity work like Gaba Disabled. We give to children who needs. We help them how to intervene. The most important thing, you know, in this world we are running on climate crisis. We also do climate awareness, and we also act like climate activists because we are young. We do most important thing. We encourage people to plant more trees. We encourage people to know how to assist with climate crisis. We encourage people how to know that climate is real and it can affect us.
Wonderful, wonderful, really. I see a lot of activity happening in your university, and I hope it does happen in the rest of the universities, especially in regards to changing attitude towards it being for the younger generation, a very young generation, vis-a-vis it not being for students who are a little bit grown. Now, talking about students, before we can go any further, I just want to hear a little bit experience from the students who are here, who are members of YCS. Faith, could you just tell us your experience about YCS in the school, the only school in the center of Kampala?
Thank you for that. First of all, YCS, I would just give one word for YCS. It's unselfish, because YCS, personally, YCS has kind of made me someone in a way that it has made me get the confidence, get the opportunities, like now being here. If I want to be part of YCS, there is no reason as why I would be here. So looking at that, and also back to school, many were asking, where are you guys going? Where are you guys going? We also want to go with you. But it's because you have to be part of YCS to be here. So at school there, we have many activities. So in these activities, we are all involved. We have a cabinet of 11 members. So we work hand in hand such that we reach out to the students. Generally, it's to the students, mostly those ones who don't have like that spiritual orientation. Many of them are in school, yes, you're some academic giant, but with no God, you're nothing. So the moment you get to know God, by the way, I always tell some people that God is a basic need. Because once you don't have God, you will see things just the way they may appear. But since we are YCS, we see things, we judge, and we act in a way that when we are acting, you find a friend, they don't have a pen. You're a YCSer, you came from home. You have more than 3 pens. You get that spirit of sharing, which we don't get from anywhere, because we all come from different families. I may come from a family which is selfish, but when I'm in YCS, I'm advised you should share with a neighbor, you should love your neighbor, you should reach out to those who are in need. So generally, you get to learn that, not even from home, but you learn from the societies. You maybe join like the YCS. So you're seen in the school like, let me say, superheroes are the people who maybe turn out to be like the rescue team of the society. So if you're willing to do that, you may turn out to be, like, let me say, the superhero of the school, because you may find the administration is not willing to provide that, but a fellow YCS has provided, maybe scholastic materials, things like those.
Very
So
nice.
we also involve in charity. Since we are in Zambia, we always go down there to the children down there. We gather, as you know, the YCS is a movement that has this heart of sharing. So when you see a neighbor, like now those babies down there, they have nothing, they are not, okay, the way you may be with a parent is not the same way you will be out there without a parent. So you may fail to get some things like the basic needs. You go pray with them. Some, at some ages, they don't understand what maybe you may be speaking to them, but a prayer alone is enough. You know, each word we say creates a difference. Now, let me say we've gone as YCS to the baby's home. We've prayed for them. You never know that person, because the world is round, you never know that person grows and becomes someone in this country. And then maybe God brings them in a way, maybe they will not remember you, but in some way they will help you, because none of us knows the Lord's plan.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Faith. That is really wonderful. We've seen how YCS is actually nurturing you from so much developing character. You see, you've mentioned the aspect of faith and action. It's a whole beautiful cocktail of ingredients. And you've mentioned how God is a basic need, right? That is something very powerful coming from a young person, given a generation where people are driven by so many different aspects of different lives. So many people pull people from in very different directions. And I believe the team here all agrees that YCS is a very important movement, not so?
Right. Yes, it
right,
is.
Right?
Yes.
Yes. I totally agree. And so should you agree. We are discussing YCS. It is a very important thing for young people to be involved in God's work. And also not just involvement, but also act. Let your heart have the zeal to serve God. This is the motivation. And so with this, thank you so much for watching. We're taking a quick break, but we'll be right back after the break. A very good evening.
UCTV, good news for all.
Catch incredible stories of resilience, success.
You can manage dirty money
with a topping of inspiration.
Get interested in people, not interested in yourself.
Inspire, achieve, repeat.
You are watching UCTV, good news for all. For this and more, tune in to Kasese Get Radio 100.5 in Western Region, located at the hill of the Diocese of Kasese. KGR brings you all Catholic programs and an advertising platform in all our radio shows like Good Morning Renzori, Chama Toboka, Ukute, the business show, Propeller, the request show and sports, Evaluation, Bahinga Bakuluka, Late Night Show, and many others. Our other services include Isuzu Tipa, a no car, public address system, live band, Omokekera, an audio recording studio, and outside live broadcast. For more information, call 0773 597 166 or visit our website www.kasesegatradio.com. Kasese Radio, Omusondoria, the voice of truth. UCTV, good news for all.
Thank you so much for watching UCTV. We bring you some of the news or some of the things that are making headlines in our country. Right now, it is all about the YCS, the Uganda Christian students. Those are the ones making headlines, not two guys.
Right.
Yeah. Right? The ones making headlines. And they're all in studio with me. One thing about this team is that it loves God. That's one thing for sure. It is enthusiastic. They love life, and they're all about service, really. When we talk about service, each and everyone on this team has a very pivotal role that they're playing in the day-to-day lives of young Christians or Christians in the country, all over the country. And I just want to pick up from where we left off a little bit later before we took off from the break. Stephen had talked about something to do with YCS and a brief overview of the leadership. You are into the publicity, right? You could just highlight a little bit, go a little bit deeper and give us how it is structured, how YCS is structured, and in regards to the national level and any other level that there is.
Okay, thank you so much, dear moderator Nora. YCS, to me, it has been something which is always my topmost priority. Reason being, it has given me a lot of experience. It has made me professionally okay. It has actually shaped me to be the right citizen of Uganda, not just any other citizen of Uganda. At national level of YCS here in Uganda, majorly talking about the current team, that is the 36 Uganda YCS national team. We started way back our journey in 2022, where we started from Jinja, that is Queen of Apostles Philosophy Center, where we were elected. We're a team of 13, meaning we have 6 elected members, then we have 6 co-opted members, and we have a person who coordinates us. That's why we are 13. In YCS at the national, we do a lot of activities. Being at the national, that means we're supposed to coordinate. We coordinate all the Catholic dioceses that is within Uganda, that's 19. And majorly we work with the diocesan youth chaplains, the diocesan youth coordinators, and where we have other more organized diocesan team, we have even the YCS coordinators. So in YCS, that is at the national. And also, not only dioceses, because in the structure of YCS, we also have universities, and we have tertiary institutions, there's national seminaries, the nursing schools, the UTCs, the UCCs. That is what YCS is all about. Currently, in Uganda, we have 22 already functional national sections, including universities, and our mother spiritual national section, I can say, it's St. Mary's National Seminary Gaba. That is our major national section and a seminary that we have. But with universities, we have people like MUST, we have Chambogo, we have Makerere universities, we have Muni, we are in Gulu, and very soon we shall be in Busitama University and others. So we are trying as much as possible as a national team to make sure that this most important movement in the life of a young person actually spreads in every part of Uganda, so that we enrich our young people with the gospel of Christ, and as well as we enrich them with skills for self-reliance. In YCS, before I forget, we have what we call a spirituality, like the way of life that we live as young people. And in the spirituality, where we talked of how should we live our life as a young person, as people are growing up, people are still in academics journey at school, how should we live? And we majorly break it down only to 3 categories. We call it the elements of the spirituality. Here, we talked of the life of a student, because a student cannot praise God when he's already dead. The student cannot actually do all the things we're talking about. So the first important thing is life. Then apart from that, that's when now we go to the spirituality. We have the faith. Always the Bible teaches us what we are supposed to do and what is right for us. We have seen the Beatitudes in Matthew chapter 5, which Jesus Christ was teaching us, is actually teaching us how best can we live life where we are going to gain the blessings, the 8 Beatitudes. So we focus on making these young people to know exactly how the faith is. And lastly, YCS is a movement which is not dead. It's a movement that is journeying, that is moving forward. In every leader, in every young person, we've emphasized actions. That's why we actually call ourselves the young Christian students, see, judge, and act. Without action, then that means we are not the young people, because a young person is supposed to have energy. What I'm holding here is actually a book, which we call it the YCS handbook. In this handbook, we have every details of the YCS, bit by bit, how it started, how it entered Uganda, how it is structured, and all that. But in this book, the major important thing I've learned, it's action. Everything, every aspect of this book tells a young person how spiritually your action should be guided, so that you become a better person, so that you become professional, so that everything looks nice about you. So, and that is what makes me proud, because in YCS, I remember when I was still at Chambu University, of which I left just last month, actually this month at the beginning. It was so nice, like the chaplain interacts with us, the chaplains give us a motive. I learned a lot from my chaplain, but everything, the details, every bit of YCS is in the hand.
Very nice, Stephen. I see the pride in which you talk about YCS is just, you can feel it, don't we? Really?
Sure.
Yeah? And I like it when Joyce beams with joy when he sees young people talk about faith, and you can see everyone in this room is so proud of YCS and what they've learned and how they've grown in the aspect of faith. And Joyce, you are the national coordinator really of young people, and it is very important that at this point in time young people engage more in these movements that are embedded into their faith, not so? And just tell us, how are you doing that? How are you encouraging it all across the country?
Thank you so much. First of all, before I go to that part, I wanted to bring the aspect of another structure of Uganda YCS. From the national, we have the Pan-African structure, which is based in Nairobi. You heard Mr. Felix talking about the international office, which is based in France. YCS is connected up to the Holy See. Just like the national office of Uganda Episcopal Conference is connected up to the Holy See. So it is an international movement that is recognized officially by the Holy See. And secondly, when you see these young people speaking with a lot of vigor and energy, it is because YCS, one of the biggest component or information of YCS is that YCS helps to form young people to be leaders. That's why you see all of them with a lot of confidence. And I'm always very proud, and I keep telling these young people, I am what I am because of YCS. Actually, I showed this morning, I showed to them my oldest badge at the time of mine, I was like, this is it. And when I told them the years, they were like, wow. And that was the badge I used for my own, my formation first of all, and then of course recruiting me into my movement, which they say, it is, usually they call it enrollment. And that is it. Now, when you look at YCS, I am not being biased here, but I have seen it a movement that actually puts, just like Stephen has said, it puts young people into action. And you know very well this time, even when we are entering into what the Holy Father is saying, synod on synodality, young people in a synodal church, it needs an engagement where they are really to be at the center of their own formation. You know,
right?
The Holy Father keeps telling them, do not watch from the balcony, be at the center of this. So our coordination is done through the national offices of the different movements. He has mentioned YCS is one of them, And we coordinate with a movement called the Zaveri, that is Zaveri Uganda. We also have Young Christian Workers Movement, which is the firstborn of YCS. Because we want these young people to integrate from being a student, you are going out in the world of work. What do you have? You have Young Christian Workers Movement. So for YCS, the journey is clean, because from a student's life, you're entering into world of work. And then we also have other movements. Of course, they're not based here at the national office. They are operating at the assistant levels. Even those we collaborate very closely with them. So that is what we do in the collaboration. He has already mentioned about that. And our work as animators or as an office is to see that the life of these young people flourishes, that they're actively involved in church. And I've always mentioned this. Even when people out there say, actually, with the current census, the young people are 77%. That is a very huge percentage, meaning the country itself is youthful. So every pastoral agent, every attention of the government, of the church, should be drawn towards the young people and trying to see how do we motivate them, how do we engage them, how do we put them at the footsteps to see that they really take on. And we say they are the leaders of now and here, not the leaders of the future.
Right.
And YCS is one of the movements that trains young people to be good, God-fearing Christian citizens. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, really. Good, God-fearing Christian citizens.
Right.
I think we need that much more in this generation, more than any other thing, really. And I'm so glad that YCS is actually doing that. My attention has been so much on this award. And I just want Stephen to brief us a bit. How did we get to this award?
Thank you so much, dear Nora. What we are seeing in front of us here, it's what we call the participation plaque for the 17th International YCS World Council, as our dear animator has mentioned before. This award actually came because of the joint efforts, because in YCS, not just seeing, judging and acting, we involve and evaluate. So the 17th IYCS World Council that took place in Amman, Jordan, it was conducted under the theme, Students Igniting Faith in a World of Crisis. So the presentation we have, the prize we have from Amman, actually is all about is giving us something that can symbolize a student. When I see that word, igniting, that means it is something that should be moving forward, not just at a standstill. So that is what the present is all about. It is an appreciation to Uganda YCS, not only to YCS, to the Catholic Church in Uganda, to the whole citizens of Uganda, especially students who are still in secondary, in technical, and in universities or other institutions. So this is their gift that has been presented to them by the International Young Christian Students in France.
Very much proud, really, very much proud. Aren't we all proud of this gift, really, this award? Yes. YCS is really a very important movement in the lives of the young people. And Felix, you talked about representing the country in the council. Just give us a little brief of what the resolutions were about in the council.
So at the World Council, we did have 2 sessions during the 2 weeks. The first week and a bigger part of the second week was mainly about the study sessions. During these study sessions, we had different facilitators who came to talk to us with the participants, the delegates, about the most pertinent issues in the world as of now. These included things like integral ecology, or protecting our only human, only world that we have. It's the only one we have, the Earth. We don't have any other, so we have to have it, to treat it well. We talked about, there were lectures on human fraternity, interfaith dialogue, countering violent extremism, advocacy and media engagement, artificial intelligence, which is one of the topics at the moment which are very important and really rising. Then nurturing faith-driven stewards for a sustainable world, then empowering tomorrow's leaders, social justice and education, and of course the IYCS review of life and methodology, and then lectures about IYCS governance, mission, and identity. That was within the study sessions. Then towards the end, about 4 days to the end of the council, we had what we call the statutory session. The statutory session, this one had one, elections, choosing the leaders of the IYCS for the next 4 years. Here we voted mainly, the main person that we look at the council is the Secretary General for the IYCS, because that's the person who really runs the international movement. And then one thing I would like to note is that the previous, or the outgoing General Secretary is a Ugandan called Odong Innocent from here. So Odong has been at the helm of the IYCS for the last 4 years. He was elected in Nigeria, and the incoming Secretary General for the IYCS is from YCS India called Roshan. He's called Roshan Lobo. He was elected, and then for the other position, which is for the International Programs Coordinator, unfortunately we could not get a leader because it was a democratic process. You vote, and then the person must get at least 2/3 of the vote. So the person who was there did not manage to get that. So fresh elections are going to be organized so that we get the International Programs Coordinator. In the statutory session also, one of the resolutions was, among the reports, the IYCS reported there were some financial challenges because this is not a money-making movement, so it survives on mobilizing resources from well-wishers. Though the IYCS has projects, it has, they reported to us, they have 2 apartments in France, which they're running, and they said that is what's sustaining them for this long. Though with the current financial challenges they reported to the council, there was a resolution to move the operation office from France to either Asia or Africa, but by the time we left, we had talked of Philippines in Asia to put an operations office there, though the seat remains in France, where we shall have mainly the international chaplain, because they told us the chaplain, the international chaplain of the IYCS, usually when they're in France, they are not directly under the IYCS care. They are sustained there by the church. The Diocese of Paris takes care of the priest, so the priest is incorporated into a parish, so the chaplain can remain there looking after the international office, whereas the operation office, where we have the international programs coordinator and the general secretary, move to an office we had to create in the Philippines. That is in the sense of reducing the costs, because they reported to us the taxes are many in France and all that, so sustainability is being shaken. So that was one of the resolutions. And then also in that, we also agreed to strengthen, like Madame Joyce talked about, the regional offices, like here for Africa, we have it in Kenya. So they talked about strengthening these regional offices to be more operational, given more power, to look after the operations of the YCS for those different regions where they are. Then also there was a review of the membership of YCS Sudan. Previously there was YCS Sudan, which comprised of the South Sudan and the Upper Sudan and the Sudan and South Sudan. But now the South Sudanese had written to the IYCS committee so that they separate officially from Sudan, and now we have YCS South Sudan. And by the end of the council, South Sudan managed to become autonomous and independent from Sudan. Then also we had ratification of the members of the International Committee. There are 4 of them. The Constitution gives us, or the YCS guidebook gives us between 3 to 7 members. So the 4 were ratified in this council. And then also there was adoption of the IYCS action plan for the next 4 years, where we had things like nurturing faith-driven stewards, interfaith dialogue, where we should have shared values for sustainability, education, social justice, global solidarity, peace and justice, and creation of reflection spaces that enable an encounter with Jesus that inspires action and transformation. And then also we had adoption of the reports from the previous 4 years, 2020, 2021, 22 and 2023. And then at the end of it all, the International Committee, Uganda, YCS Uganda, was given the privilege to head. So in this incoming council for the 4 years, Uganda shall head the Finance Commission. And though the role now comes back to the national office, they say they're supposed to elect that one person that will be in charge of finance at the International Commission. And at the end of it all, Uganda was recognized with this international award or international plaque that we have right here for our participation. Yes.
Very nice. I see there was a lot of achievements that actually happened there, and a lot of activity. Our time is fast spent. I would, spend the entire day with this team. This is a great team. But I also want to hear from Benjamin. Benjamin, give us a little bit of your personal experience. Let's come back home. You give us a little bit of your personal experience in regards to YCS.
Thank you so much, Nora. My name is Chualebi Benjamin, and I'm the publicity officer at St. Peter's SS in Zambia section. I'm proud of being part of this movement. As my brother Vincent talked about, that its aim is to make the world of a student a happier and a better place spiritually and materially. I really take that aim serious. And as a leader, as our sister said, I believe that a leader should be a servant who makes because a man is called a leader when he or she serves a genuine and remarkable service. So YCS has helped me to have good values such as being a good leader, because I'm a publicity officer, and I inspire a lot of students at school really as a publicity officer, because when somebody sees me and looks at me, it's like, how are you able to look like that? You look so well. And yeah, that's true.
Indeed, Benjamin, you do.
But then,
we agree.
We do.
Yes.
Sure.
my reply is always, Christ is alive in you and me.
Amen.
So therefore is alive in you and me. You can also be able to reflect the joy and the light of Christ in you. And as YCS, I always stand out to make other guys confidence. make them overcome their academic, spiritual, and maybe physical challenges. Like for example, our members who are less advantaged, as the sect leaders talked about the charity we do at in Zambia Baby's Home. Also sharing the knowledge and the gifts, because it's part of our sharing gifts is most times part of our agenda on the sect meetings. And also I'm proud because this movement has changed me, and I was inspired by my brother. My brother was the former sect leader of our sect. And also what I would like to talk about, that we are living in a world with that is very destructive and with corruptive trends. Those trends can make can erase faith in students such as us. So as YCSers, we come out to bring back the faith in the kingdom of the Lord. We come out and help out the liturgy in organizing, and also share some counseling sessions at school for the members that are being challenged emotionally. Also bringing in members through retreats, because the students want fun, and so to bring in more members into the YCS, we have YCS retreats. I hope you all know about those. These retreats bring in more members to join the YCS. Then later, we preach the gospel of the YCS movement. And also to talk about the values, we bring awareness to other students. Some students out there think that life is all about studying behind the books, and they hide always behind the books. But as YCSers, we make them aware that the life we live in is beyond the books. The life within is about purity, is about love, is about caring, sharing, and we should always give thanks to the God for the clarity of vision that He always gives us in times of need and everything. Also to talk about, as YCSer, we thank the animator of our school, that is Mr. Felix. He has always been there for us in the challenges we pass through, and also the cooperation of my fellow cabinet members. They have always been there to help out, to see that we can make YCS a live movement, a movement full of life in Christ and helping others. Also when I see, specifically me, as a matter of fact, when I see and I judge, it doesn't mean that I consider you an unworthy Christian. No. I bring you closer to me to let you know that you are also like me. You can also be like me, because God, we all believe that God can forgive every sin. So if you have a problem with anything, I bring you closer to me and make you a YCSer and preach the gospel of the aim of the YCS. Thank you so much.
Benjamin, it has been very nice hearing your personal experience in regards to YCS. It's very motivating to see young people really into the faith and acting and walking the talk and involving themselves in day-to-day lives of others, and just it is a good place to be really as a young person. Not so, and we can't thank everyone on this panel today, right from the youngest to age and everyone who is actually involved in YCS. We do understand that there are challenges, of course, and so is life, but we strive looking forward to greater things ahead. And talking about greater things ahead, my father most hasn't actually said a word, and yet he's one of the great leaders we have in the country right now, right?
Yeah, I can say.
So why don't you give us the closing remarks and Joyce, you want to just carry this so that we can have a closer range of this appreciation? Yes? Super nice. You could, yes, give us the closing remark.
Oh, big drums has been sounded, and I'm also glad that I'm among the big drums. Thank you so much, dear moderator, Nora. When you look at our people really digested the movement, the spirituality, everything about the YCS from the international level, France, Africa, in Nairobi, then Uganda, you can really see that really YCS is on the right track towards bringing in the young people and to the gospel of the Lord. This is impressive. In a special way, I want to really talk about, I'm not talking, I'm just making brief comments about the Laudato Si, Father, the Holy See from the Holy See. That is already a project from France, rather from the Holy See, a Pope saying Laudato Si. We have only one planet to protect, and I love really what young people are doing. Rest in peace, Reverend Father Yandu. He used to say, you have to plan, even if you plant a tree fruit today, even if you die a sinner, people will eat that fruit in the next future, in the near future. They will be blessing you, and in that, you end up going to heaven. We have a lot of things to do. Our dear coordinator talked about the YCS forming good leaders. I am very sure, beyond no doubt, that a good leader should be one who is able to renew the hope of the young people and also make us realize that there is something beautiful ahead, not behind us. This is very impressive. Thank you very much, our dear coordinator, Madam Joy. This was good. And I really want to talk about, as I conclude, as usual, as a big man. Yes, the issues of the YCS movement and also the good news we are soon having about the council. We are soon handing over the leadership, and we expect these vibrant, good people, good leaders to come on board and do the necessary. Thank you so much, our media team, Nora, the moderator. Oh, this is the first of its kind. Hosting us. Isn't it beautiful? I think it's so good.
Indeed.
And I believe this is not the first and the last time.
No, it won't be.
Yeah.
We look forward to many more engagements like this.
And then,
I can't thank you so much. Thank you so much for making
one
time.
more thing only. That is appreciating our brother for representing the national team at the World Council. And I was told it was supported, the finance and the rest of it was supported by the students. You really have good people. Thank you so much, everybody, the Episcopal Conference and everybody. God bless you all.
Indeed, it's very beautiful when we come together and it's just about God and it's all about young people in the service of God. All these things that we do, at the end of the day, it's all about really service to God. And we just want to say thank you for the team of from YCS. It has been very nice having you in studio today. It has been motivating. It has been encouraging. It has been inspiring. And we look forward to so many other engagements like this. But also, we also look forward to so many other young people actually joining these movements in regards to the Catholic faith and taking charge of their faith and taking charge of their future and taking charge of the activities and the world around them. My name is Nora Osende. Thank you so much for watching UCTV. Until next time.